So today we're out harvesting some white pine bark, the inner bark. I would like to harvest outer bark as well some other time, but today we're doing the inner bark. The goal is to get the outer bark off and to not take too much of the inner bark off right away. So in the past, wild edibles has kind of been something we've been doing for years, but there kind of felt like there wasn't a lot of winter wild edibles that we know hands-on. And we know that the bark of trees has wild edibles. Do you want me to use the knife now? Yeah. Alright.
Unless you think I need to go more.
So the key is A, harvest from a tree you're already going to cut down, or harvest from one section of a tree so that the tree can grow back its bark and protect itself again. I got a little bit here. Who wants to try? Ready? I better not have the knife. You ready? Is it special?
No. Tastes very piney.
So apparently from one tree to the next, the flavor can be different.
Yeah.
Ow. Caution, the outer bark is sharp and hurts. There we go. So the difference between the outer bark and the inner bark, you can see the white here, and you can see that obviously this is outer bark still. And if you peel off the outer bark, you can actually take the inner bark off of it. And you can eat it. So I'm going to try, see how this goes. You can eat it raw. Oh wow, that's flavorful all right. Acquired taste. If I had to, I'd eat it. Pine needle is definitely... You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of grapefruit, the white part of a grapefruit. If, like my husband, you enjoy that, you will enjoy this. That's what it reminds me of. Very much so. The pine needles are more tangy and less bitter, and I prefer chewing on them. So now you're getting to the heartwood. You can see that it has a more yellow, so you want only to harvest the white. This is the part you can eat. At another time we might do the outer bark and a recipe for that, but if you're wanting to eat it raw, this is the one you want. Here. What do you think?
I think I like my pine needles better.
We're gonna go here some more to put in the bag.
Alright, so there's a recipe we're gonna try. We're gonna try baking it. So you cut a line, you can stick your knife behind. See, this is the heartwood. We're peeling off outer bark. Now we're gonna stick it in our bag.
You'd imagine it'd be like a fruit roll-up or something. Sure doesn't taste like that.
No?
Yeah.
It's a...
Pine roll-up.
Yeah.
I think I would like to find something else to survive off, but I suppose you could use it if you had to.
Apparently it's high in vitamin C.
It's kind of like chewing on leather, though, or something. You know, it's like you can chew and chew and chew. So the time to learn about wild edibles is not when you're in a survival situation, but beforehand. So this is why we're incorporating this into our lives. Once in a while, going out and getting some wild edibles and learning how to use them. And eating them firsthand.
So you don't want to take around the tree because sap can still flow up the tree here and everywhere else. So it won't
Yeah,
really
if you
bother
went
the tree.
around the tree, it would girdle the tree and the tree would die.
Which,
But in this way, which, I mean, if you're planning on cutting the tree
Yeah.
down, that's
is
fine.
handy.
But in this method, you'd be better off to take a little bit from a lot of trees than to take a lot from a tree, one tree, unless you're going to cut it down. And again, you know, harvest smartly, because if you are going to want to continue eating from the trees, they have to live. So just like we tap maple trees, and we don't want to put too many taps in one tree because then we wouldn't have that tree alive to tap next year. It's the same thing, same principle. Harvest in a way so that it can be around for years to come. All right, so that's it for this tree. We've got a little bit there to try a recipe,
Here's a maple one.
and we'll see you inside. All right, so this is the inner bark of the pine tree that we harvested earlier. Just going to finish taking some outer bark off that we didn't remove. Not that it would harm us, because you can eat the outer bark. And I've seen somebody fry this in a frying pan. And it looked good. I just not big on frying things in oil, so I'm going to rub some oil on instead and try putting it in the oven and see how it turns out. I'm sure it was really yummy the other way. Hopefully it'll be equally yummy this way. Alright. I think that's good enough. We're just gonna rub some oil on them. I don't want a lot of oil on them, just enough to coat them a little bit. It's turning into a gorgeous day out there. Hopefully the rain is gone for the day, but either way, I'm glad we got outside in between the rain. And it was perfect timing for lunch. We can enjoy these as a little part of our lunch. And I'm just going to spread them out. And we'll sprinkle them with some salt. Alright, and we're going to stick them in the toaster oven. So I put them in the toaster oven, and I think I had them a little too high to begin with. They started to get pretty dark, but I turned them down to about 350, and I think they turned out pretty well. It's time to try one. So what do you think?
It's not too bad. Now as I say that.
So what's the taste?
Well, it started out being pretty good with the salt on it. Wasn't very tasteful other than salty. Then at the end you get a real shot of pine taste.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I suppose you could survive.
So it's my turn. I decided I was going to try it drizzled in a little agave. See if it is better. Definitely improves things. Much better. So they need some agave or maple syrup to be good. Yeah, definitely. So I took the leftover pieces of pine that we hadn't eaten yet. So I mixed in a bowl a couple drops of liquid smoke, a little bit of maple syrup, little Bragg's liquid aminos. You could use soy sauce or tamari sauce or something, and some maple syrup and a little bit of agave nectar, and then I put them back in and let them just cook for a little bit at 350. I'm just trying to see if there's something that can overpower the pine taste. So we'll see how it goes. Alright. Initially very good. I'm just trying to see if we get the aftertaste. It's there. You can taste the pine. But I think it's way better. Much easier to ignore. This is yummy. I think this is pretty good. Still got an aftertaste, but pretty good. Okay, so round two. What do you think?
It's definitely good to start with. Then you get that strong pine flavor after.
So I guess the verdict is that while it is definitely a survival food, I don't think it's going to be the next wild edible craze like leeks and morels and some of the other things, maple buds. I think it's going to stay in the survival food category. Definitely something you could eat to live, but not something I think I'm going to put into a regular menu. But you know what? Overall, it was a great experience for the children and I to have. I think that we need to test these things out more often for ourselves. It's one thing to know you can eat something, it's a whole other thing to experience it. So, on to the next wild edible.